Good morning, and welcome to Emerson Unitarian Universalist Congregation. My name is Bernadine Cataletta, and I'm a member of the worship team. Our minister, Reverend Deborah Bennett, will return to the pulpit next Sunday. But for now, I'd like to give a warm welcome to two very special visitors this morning, Reverend Jeff Jones and his wife, Carol. Reverend Jeff Jones was the minister here at Emerson for 7 years, and we are so happy that you're both visiting with us this morning. Our service is entitled Las Posadas. This pageant promises to be a Christmas inspiration to us all. It will be presented by Bruce King, Sarah Drew, and the many fine Emerson actors and musicians. As Unitarian Universalists, we embrace a wide variety of theological ideas and practices, and we honor the inherent worth and dignity of every person. We declare climate change is real, Black lives matter, women's rights are human rights, and injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So no matter who you are, what you believe, or whom you love, you are welcomed here. Each Sunday, we light a candle in acknowledgement and remembrance for the Cherokee and Muskogee nations of people who lived on this land before us. May this candle humbly remind us of our interconnections and the impact of our collective actions. May there be healing in all nations of people. We also light our Advent candles. The first week symbolized hope. The second week symbolized peace. And this Sunday, the third week, symbolizes love. Also, each Sunday we light our chalice. It's a symbol of Unitarian Universalism and a reminder of our commitment to be a beacon of love and hope to all of us. Our chalice lighting words: may the light from this chalice enkindle our joy of wonder. May it enkindle our joy of doubt. May it enkindle the joy of us being together in community this very morning. Now, in the spirit of beloved community, let's greet and welcome each other to worship as we all share our congregational affirmation: we need not think alike to love alike. I invite you to move around, introduce yourself to someone who you do not know. Folks online, use the chat to introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Ginger White, and I serve as a member of our Emerson Pastoral Care Team. We're available with listening ears and caring hearts to support you during challenging times. Each Sunday, we pause to share personal joys, sorrows, and concerns of our Emerson community. If you want to contact the pastoral care team or share a joy, sorrow, or concern at a Sunday service, please email pastoralcare@emersonuu.org. When you are with us in person, we also invite you to write your joys, sorrows, and concerns before the service in the yellow book on our pastoral care table just inside the doors. And Sarah Drew will light our candles today. And we've already lit our vigil bowl. I share these joys with you today. This is from Sarah Allman. Congratulations to Eva Allman for her performances of the Nutcracker Ballet with the Georgia Ballet. We couldn't be more proud. And this is from Ann Mason. My beloved daughter Sarah closes on her new home in Decatur on Monday. Joy, joy, joy. I also share these sorrows and concerns. From Linda Williams, please pray for me as I have recently been diagnosed with breast cancer and will be having surgery December 15th. My sweet cousin Myrna is also battling cancer, but is in town visiting me. Please pray for her too. I love this beloved community and know I can count on your well wishes and prayers. We will be holding a special Vespers service on Monday, December 20th at 3 o'clock. We know that the holidays can be a difficult time when we have lost someone dear to us. This service is a time to recognize the sorrow and grief and celebrate the remembrance of our loved ones. All are welcome to come and share the sacred space created when we remember. We also know there may be joys, sorrows, and concerns not spoken. Please feel free to say out loud or type into the chat the name of someone you are holding in your heart today. Betsy Wade. Now, let us send our heartfelt, caring intentions to all those whose names have been spoken and to all beings everywhere by offering the Buddhist prayer of loving kindness. Please repeat the words after me. May all the beings be filled with loving kindness. May they be free from harm and suffering. May they be well in body, heart, and mind. May they be at peace. Blessed be.
Thank you, Ginger. And thank you, Bernadine. And thank you, Judy, for that beautiful gathering music. And good morning to all of you. We are so happy to see so many faces out there. Even though some are obstructed, you're still beautiful. So this morning, we are bringing you Las Posadas. It is a Latin American tradition that spread through Mexico, Guatemala, and even into southern Texas. It's a tradition of about 400 years old. And it looks a lot like our caroling. So what traditionally happens is that children, friends, neighbors, they gather at dusk, and they dress like angels and shepherds, a couple like Mary and Joseph, and they go door to door, singing and asking to be let in for refuge. But they are denied again and again and again. So traditionally, Las Posadas starts on the 16th of December. We're a little early. It runs for 9 nights until Christmas Eve. So as they knock each time at each door, they'll sing a song. They get denied. They go home. The next night, they go out. They knock on a door. It goes on for 9 days. On the 9th night, well, I don't want to give away the ending. But what's remarkable about this tradition is that it's spread by Spanish Catholics that came in around in the 1500s. But it's so popular that it has kind of leapt out of the Catholic tradition into non-Catholic tradition, out of a Christian tradition into non-Catholic tradition, so that in these areas where it's still held, almost everybody participates because there's a lot of food, there's a lot of singing, there's a lot of drinking, and there's a lot of communing. And that's exactly what happened as we were putting our program together. I drew on musicians from the congregation. The youth is here. You'll see them in a minute as our villagers. It really brought us all together, especially in a time where we haven't been getting together a whole lot. So it's been a lot of fun, and everyone's super excited to share what we've done with you. Now, I would say sit back and relax, but you can't, because guess what? You're in the pageant. So if you look in your program, you'll see that all the words for all the hymns that we're going to be singing, there's 3 spaced out, and then all the words for the carol Las Posadas, which is translated to the inns. That's what that means, the inns. So we invite you, each time Mary and Joseph approach the inn, they will ask if they can be let in, but you will be the innkeepers, and unfortunately, you will be responding not so positively for the first few. Eventually, something good will happen. So follow along in your program. We hope you join singing. We have planted some singers in the audience that know the tune, so hopefully they'll help bring you along. Also, because we do have theater lighting, I wouldn't be opposed to a few cell phone lights being turned on so you can actually read the program. I don't know about you, but I need surgical lighting to do anything these days. So feel free if you need to light up your program so you can sing along with us. So to set the mood, since Mary and Joseph traveled from Nazareth to Bethlehem, we're going to start with O Little Town of Bethlehem. So if you're able, you can stand and join singing. It's in your program on the insert, the words to O Little Town of Bethlehem.
Our story begins with a reading from the book of Luke, chapter 1. The angel Gabriel was sent by God to a town in Galilee called Nazareth, to a virgin engaged to a man whose name was Joseph, of the house of David. The virgin's name was Mary. And he came to her and said, "Greetings, favored one, the Lord is with you." But she was much perplexed by his words and pondered what sort of greeting this might be. The angel said to her, "Do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God. And now you will conceive in your womb and bear a son, and you will name him Jesus." Mary accepted her path, as did Joseph, and they were married. At this time, the land where Mary and Joseph lived was part of the Roman Empire. The Roman Emperor Augustus wanted to have a list of all the people in the empire to make sure they paid their taxes. He ordered everyone to return to the town where their families originally came from and enter their names in a census. Mary and Joseph traveled a long way, about 70 miles from Nazareth to Bethlehem, because that is where Joseph's family came from. When they finally reached Bethlehem, it was very crowded. Tired from their travels and ready for rest, they approached a door and knocked. While Bethlehem bustled with people, just outside the city walls, on a very peaceful hill, a shepherd quietly tended his flocks. Mary and Joseph continued their search for refuge from the cool evening air, but so many people had come to register their names in the census. It seemed all the rooms were taken, and they were tired, and the birth of Mary's baby was drawing near. So they approached another door and knocked. Meanwhile, a brand new bright star appeared in the sky. Some wise people in faraway countries saw the star and guessed what it meant. They were very clever people that studied the stars and had read in very old writings that a new star would appear when a great king was born. They set out to find the new king and bring him gifts. They followed the star toward the country of Judea, And when they got to the capital, Jerusalem, they began to ask people, "Where is the child who was born to be king of the Jews?" Herod, the king of Judea, heard this, and he feared this new king would take his place. Herod sent for the wise people to come to him. He told them to go on following the star until they had found the baby king. He said, "When you have found him, let me know where he is so that I can go and worship him." But Herod did not tell them that he really had an evil plan to get rid of the new king. And the 3 wise people set off, following the star once again. Please stay seated as we sing.
Here at Emerson, our vision is to be a radically inclusive, open-minded, beloved community that is a vibrant source of peace, hope, and healing. We know we cannot live this vision alone, and so each month we partner with an organization and encourage our members and friends to support the work they do, both financially and with action. Today's Share the Basket is for El Refugio. El Refugio has its roots in the Georgia Detention Watch, whose members began leading groups to visit immigrants and asylum seekers detained at the Stewart Detention Center. This detention center is located in a very remote southern Georgia town of Lumpkin. After witnessing the challenges shared by those visiting loved ones at Stewart, a group of friends established El Refugio. El Refugio opened a hospitality house offering meals and lodging at no cost. But perhaps most importantly, they offer friendship and support to the loved ones of immigrants and asylum seekers who are detained there. This month, we have an opportunity to support El Refugio in 3 ways. First, by our financial support, we will share the basket equally this morning with El Refugio and Emerson. Secondly, we can join the ARE session today at 11:15, where we will be writing holiday cards to be sent to those incarcerated at the Stewart Detention Center. Thirdly, we have the opportunity to support those leaving the detention center by providing them with backpacks that will have clothing and essential items. You can sign up online to bring these items in by going to the link in the Emerson notes. As our donation baskets go around, please make a donation by cash or check, or take a card which describes the ways to give. All donations, unless otherwise specified, are shared equally by Emerson and our partner organization.
I wonder out under the sky, how Jesus the Savior did come for to die. For have stalled, with wise men and farmers and shepherds and all. But high from God's heaven a star's light did fall, and the promise of ages it then did recall. If Jesus had wanted for any great thing, a star in the sky or a bird on the wing, or all of God's angels in heaven for to sing, he surely could have, for he was the King. I wonder, as I wonder out under the sky, how Jesus the Savior did come for to die. For poor ornery people like you and like I wonder, as I wonder out under the sky.
So if you recall, we left our shepherds in the fields peacefully tending his flock. The three wise kings following that amazing new star, and a very tired Mary and Joseph, still looking for a room in a very crowded Bethlehem. Still, with hope, they approached a third door and knocked. It had grown very late. The bustling city was now quiet. All had gone to bed. All the rooms were full. The streets were empty. Mary and Joseph were now desperate. Was there no one to show them some kindness? Was there no place for them? The night grew darker as they grew more tired. Mary knew the baby would come very soon. Joseph consoled Mary as they approached yet another door, and with hope still in their hearts, they knocked. In the fields, the shepherd was startled when suddenly an angel appeared. The shepherd was very, very scared, but the angel said, "Do not be afraid. I have good news for you and everyone. Today in Bethlehem, a Savior has been born for you. You will find the baby lying in a manger." The three wise kings had followed the star and found Jesus with Mary and Joseph. They bowed down before him. They spread their gifts they had brought: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. By the way, the three wise kings were warned in a dream by God not to go back to Herod. So they later returned home to their countries in the east using a different route, helping the new family escape Herod's wrath. So let us celebrate all of these gifts: the kindness, the love, the compassion, and the generosity. Let us lift our voices joyfully and sing. I'm really grateful for our service this morning. I would like to say thank you, of course, again to all our actors and singers. They rehearsed and dress rehearsed and sang and bawed their little hearts out. I would especially like to say thank you, of course, to Bruce and the musicians, the singers. Bruce especially has been working on this for months. He has not only rehearsed and dress rehearsed and sang and bawed his heart out, but he also made the set. Yeah. And made sure that the rest of us had whatever we needed to be successful. And of course, thank you all for coming today. It would not have been nearly as much fun without a lovely audience to share this with. I have the honor of saying the closing words this morning in an effort to say something meaningful. I have been sort of thinking a lot about this story and all we've witnessed this morning. It's a beautiful story, and it gives us the opportunity to put ourselves in the shoes of each of the characters. What does it feel like to be Joseph or Mary in this story, scared and turned away from seemingly everywhere? Are there times when we have felt like that? Can we make an effort this season to honor the relationships in our lives that make us feel less alone? How can we grow into ourselves in a way that allows us to be beacons of love and compassion in the world? And there's the people that would not let Joseph and Mary stay. They were scared to let strangers into their houses, understandably so, perhaps. Do we have any opportunities where we could face our own fears and become more generous, particularly to those in need this season? Kindness comes in all sorts of forms, and I urge you to think about becoming a sort of living kindness meditation this season. We will forget, we will fall into those patterns we have cultivated over decades, but I do think that if we remind ourselves over and over that our goal is kindness, we will find that inclination more and more and more. And finally, joy to the world. Our congregational theme this month is opening to joy. I have been struck particularly by the lyrics in Joy to the World. Let heaven and nature sing. Let heaven and nature sing. Wow. Can you imagine the sheer amount of collective joy it would take for heaven and nature to sing? That would be truly amazing. It does maybe seem a little intangible, though, to me. How can I impact the amount of joy in the world? Thanks to my listening circle, the one that I'm a part of, I was prompted to watch a really interesting TED Talk given by Ingrid Fettel-Lee, where it was called Where Joy Hides and Where to Find It. Ingrid Fettel-Lee is a designer, and she tells the story of having her designs critiqued and being sort of taken aback at the comment, "Your designs bring me joy," which could be worse, right? I was like, are you really upset about that? But it's not that she doesn't want her designs to bring people joy, but it's that that wasn't her intent, right? And so she was confused that these people had received her designs that way. Her intent was to make practical, well-made objects that served their purpose efficiently and beautifully. Joy sort of threw her for a loop. And she wanted to understand that. So she started asking every single person she saw, what brings you joy? People on the street, hi, my name's Ingrid, what brings you joy? And she would take pictures of the things that they told her about and put them on the wall in her studio so she could think about them. And after a long while, she realized some commonalities. Round things bring joy, like ice cream scoops. Bright pops of color in clothing or painting walls or anywhere. Symmetrical shapes like seashells, scalloped seashells, trees, things like that, and a lot of symmetry in nature. A feeling of lightness or elevation, and a sense of abundance and multiplicity. Ingrid realized that these things were not that hard to come by, actually, right? Like we could seek out an ice cream scoop or that bright color to bring ourselves some joy and to bring it into the world. So in addition to being compassionate and kind to yourself and everyone this season, treat yourself to some joy too. It turns out it's more accessible than it seems. Thank you again for everyone for joining us this morning. Take joy with you and take joy wherever you go.
Well, as Sarah said, joy is the theme for December, and this was a joy. We hope that you have been nourished in heart and mind by our worship today. As our chalice is extinguished this morning, please join me in the final words that are posted in the order of service. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world until we are together again. Please join us for refreshments and fellowship in the first floor fellowship hall. Those of you who are online, please stay tuned and you will be able to go to a virtual breakout room for fellowship time. Now go in peace and take peace wherever you go. Our worship is ended, and now the service begins.